हेलो एवरीवन, कैसे हैं आप सब। टुडे वी आर डूइंग प्लानिंग. Planning is the process of thinking before doing. It involves determination of goals as well as activities required to undertaken to achieve the goals. Planning is looking ahead, anticipating the future and deciding the course of action to be taken. Definition of planning. According to the Kuhn O'Donnell, planning is deciding in advance what to do, how to do, when to do, and who is to do it. Planning bridges the gap between where we are and where we want to go. It makes it possible for things to happen which would otherwise not happen. Features of planning. Features or characteristics are children same. First feature is planning focuses on achieving objective. The purpose of every plan is to facilitate the accomplishment of organizational goals and to be achieved and activities that are to be undertaken to achieve them. Planning has no relevance unless it contributes towards the achievement of objectives. Planning is a primary function of management. Planning precedes all other managerial function of management. It provides the basis for other functions of management such as organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. This is also referred to as the primacy of planning. So if sometimes the question is asked, what is the primacy of management? So you have to write planning. Third point is planning is pervasive as it is required at all the levels of management, that is top, middle, and lower level, and in all the departments of an organization, that is production, finance, and in all types of the organization, that is small scale and large scale. However, the scope of planning differ from one level to the another. Fourth point is planning is continuous. Planning is an ongoing process and should be changed with the changing environment. Business environment is dynamic and therefore there cannot be one best place plan for doing things. A plan is framed, implemented and is followed by another plan. Fifth point is planning is futuristic. Planning is futuristic in the sense that it involves looking ahead and the future and the making provisions to tackle the future events and situations. Planning is therefore regarded as a forward looking function based on forecasting. Sixth point is planning involves decision making. Planning is essentially the process of choosing the best among the alternative course of action. If there is only one possible alternative, then there is no need of planning. Planning does involve through examination and evaluation of each alternative and choosing the most appropriate one. It means that we have so many type of the plan, but we have to select the best one which is suitable for us, not suitable for everyone, for the suitable for the business only. Last point is planning is a mental exercise. Planning require application of the mind involving intelligence, imagination and sound judgment. It is a mental exercise involving creative thinking and analytical skills in order to anticipate future opportunities and threats. Next topic is importance of planning. Sound planning is essential condition for a sound management. The importance of planning can be explained as different points. First is planning provides direction. Planning ensures that the goals and or objectives are clearly stated. This helps in providing the direction to the efforts of employees so that such actions become meaningful. If there was no planning, employees would be working in different directions and the organization would not be able to achieve its objectives. Second point is planning reduces the risk of uncertainty. Planning reduces the risk of uncertainty by anticipating future events, its impact and the course of action and should be undertaken to tackle them. With the help of planning, managers can identify potential dangers and take steps to overcome them. Third point is planning reduces overlapping and wasteful activities. Planning facilitates coordination of the department's operations by establishing common goals. Employees cooperate with each other and work in team to secure organizational objectives. Moreover, since planning ensures clarity in thought and action, useless activities are minimized or eliminated. Fourth point is planning promotes innovative ideas. Planning is thinking in advance so that the different methods and procedures can be adopted to achieve the desired objectives. Planning gets the opportunity to develop the new ideas and apply them for growth and expansion of business. Fifth point is planning facilitates decision making. Planning involves setting targets and predicting the future conditions. The manager has to evaluate each alternative and select the most viable propositions. Therefore, planning decide and takes in a greater confidence. So decisions are basically we take when we adopt the planning, we can take the decisions in a more confident manner. Sixth point is planning establishes standard for controlling. Planning provides a standard against which the actual performance can be measured and evaluated. It helps to identify the deviations so that the corrective action can be taken on time. Planning help in controlling the deviations. Next topic is limitations of planning. Though planning is a primary and pervasive function of management, so sometimes in CBSE it is asked what is the primary function of management. So you have to write primary function is planning only. So it has certain limitations. First limitation is planning leads to rigidity. Planning leads to rigidity as once plans are framed, it becomes difficult for manager to change it. This has adverse effect on the initiative to be taken by them. Manager need to be given some flexibility to be able to cope with the changed circumstances. Second point is planning may not work in the dynamic environment. The business environment is dynamic and there could be a change in internal and external environment. Change in internal environment can be due to the change in the policies of the company. And change in external environment can be due to the political factors, technological factor, economic changes. Planning cannot be foresee everything, and thus there may be obstacles to effective planning. Third point is planning reduces creativity. Planning is an activity which is done by the top management. Usually, the rest of the organization just implement these plans. This may discourage individual initiative and experimentation of the employees to create something new or innovative. Fourth point is planning involve huge cost. It is an expensive process and include time, money and effort in the process of forecasting, collection of information, evaluation of results, and sometimes services of the experts are required which involves huge cost or high cost. Fifth point is planning is a time consuming process. Planning requires time for thinking, analyzing the situation, and designing the final plan. It is practically not applicable during emergencies and in crisis when the quick decisions are necessary. Sixth point is planning does not guarantee success. The success of an enterprise is possible only when plans are properly drawn up and implemented. Planning have a tendency to rely on previously tried and tested successful plan. But it is not always true that a plan which has worked before will work effectively again. Therefore, while planning, the above limitations should be kept in consideration to avoid its failures. Next topic is steps in the process of planning. First point is setting objective. The first step in the process of planning is to decide and describe clearly the objective of an organization for each individual departments and the organization on the whole. Objective provide the direction to the efforts. Example, the goal or objective of a firm is to increase profit by 20%. Second point is developing premises. Once the objectives are set, the next step is to develop the premises or assumptions about the future. These assumptions are called the premises, and sometimes in examination, this Question can be asked कि what is the meaning of setting premises, or so simply you have to write assumptions. Such assumptions decide the feasibility of using any one alternative to achieve the organizational goal. Example, a manager could generate two assumptions to reach organizational objective of increasing the profit. Assumption 1, to get larger share of existing market. Assumption 2, to capture the new market. Third point is identifying alternative course of action. The next step is to list various alternatives in order to reach the objective. During the stage, During this stage, all the possible alternatives are explored without considering their merits and demerits. Example, a manager could generate two alternatives to reach the organizational objective of increasing profit. Alternative 1, increase the production and sale of existing product. Assumption, to get larger share of existing market. Alternative 2, increase the sale by producing a new product. Assumption, to capture new market. A manager should list all the premises for each alternative. Fourth point, evaluating alternative courses. The alternatives are compared and evaluated on the basis of their relative advantages and limitations. The best alternative is chosen for reaching organizational objective. Fifth point is selecting an alternative. The next step is to make a choice among the different alternatives. Elimination process help in choosing the best alternative to accomplish the organizational objective. The ideal plan would be most feasible, profitable, and with least negative consequences. Sixth point is implement the plan or implementation of the plan. Once the most appropriate plan selected, the next step is to implement or put the plan in action. For this, the manager communicate the plans to all the employees and allocate the resources accordingly. Seventh and point is follow up. Once the plan is put into action, the next step is to renew these plans from time to time in order to ensure their relevance or effectiveness. The plan must be changed in the light of the changing environment. Thus, planning is a continuous process. Thank you very much.